Don't be afraid.
And this whole idea is about creating a free society, or what some people call voluntarism, which is kind of similar to anarchism, but rather than just saying no government and sort of saying no more on the subject, the idea of voluntarism is basically saying we shouldn't have any rulers because of that self-ownership that I mentioned. So, we all own ourselves, so no one has the right to rule over anybody else. Nobody has the right to initiate force against anybody else.
Some people still find that a hard concept, though. As soon as you say no government, they immediately think that everyone's going to start killing each other. And this is one of the points that I raise a lot. And I talked about Thomas Hobbes and Jean-Jacques Rousseau a few shows ago, and their opposing views on human nature. And I think once we have more faith in ourselves and human nature, then this non-aggression principle has more standing.
Yeah, well, I mean, and also I think one of the reasons why people struggle with it, as you say, is because I think they find it hard to divorce the concept of leaders from the concept of rulers, and from the idea of, I mean, this is why I say about establishing the non-aggression principle as law, because it's not about having a lawless society where everybody can do whatever they want. It's about having a society based on just one simple and basic law, which itself is just based on this universal morality, which says everyone can do what they want as long as they're not violating anybody else's exact same freedom to do what they want. And so, it's basically, it's like there's two kinds of freedom that people think of. Some people think of an ever-expanding freedom that conflicts with other people's freedoms.
Yeah.
When I talk about freedom in this context, I'm talking about a universalizable freedom that everyone can have in equal measure. So you can be free to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't involve violating anybody else. Because if you do that, if you step past that point, then you're violating their right to the exact same freedom that you want to exercise for yourself. So
it's a very simple concept, but once again, people find it hard to take on board. Maybe because it's so simple, we want that complexity. People say, well, it's my opinion or my right, and to do what I want, and then they forget that in doing so, you're actually stepping on someone else's. And as long as there's more than one person in any what's the word I'm looking for, position, one location, then you have to alter your behaviour and your rights change as such. Because when I say change, you don't lose them, you still have your freedom, but now you have to be more wary because you could be stepping on the other person's rights, and then we have to come to some forms of agreements there.